Welcome back to another episode of BC Life. Today my dad and I were actually doing a box battle. We started off with the pennies. I'm on my second box. This is what just flipped out of the penny roll. We got a 1900 Indian head penny. This is awesome. Well, welcome back. We just got done with a box battle. Each of us got 1 box of dimes, 2 boxes of nickels, and 2 boxes of pennies. This is all the copper 1969 and back pennies we pulled. This doesn't include wheat pennies or anything like that. This is just the memorial cents that are older than 1969. And these are Jefferson nickels that are older than 55. We have 38s and 39s that we pulled as well, but they're not in here. We actually separate them. And then my dad opened 1 box of pennies that had 3 enders, a 1917, a wheat penny, and you can faintly see there's actually a Canadian penny in this one. None of these rolls have been opened. We usually save these and put them aside. Okay, we'll go ahead and get into my findings. These are the wheat pennies that I found from 1958 and back. Now these are all 40s and 50s up here. And then I got a 1956 Denver. I got a 39 Denver. I got a 1920. And I got that 1900 Indian head penny. This is the same one I showed earlier in this video. I ended up getting 1 Canadian nickel. I got 138, 4 39s. I got 2 war nickels. The 1 war nickel is a 44S. The other one is a 45P. We ended up getting 1 buffalo nickel. This is the one I pulled out of that box. I have some more coins that we found throughout the week that's not part of this box battle, so stay tuned. I'll show you what all we found through customer rolled coins later. But here's my Canadian pennies that I found. I found a 68, 2 78s, a 79, and a 2002. I got 1 Canadian dime. It's 1979. And I got this coin right here, which is from the Bahamas. Okay, and moving on to what my dad found. He found a full roll. It comes out to a full roll of 1950s and 40s pennies. And we'll go ahead and get into the more interesting stuff he found. He found 2 1925s. He found a 1931, a 37, a 1940, and a 1941. Like I said, everything up here is 40s and 50s wheat pennies. Kind of the same way I had mine laid out. 40s and 50s right here. Okay, we'll start getting into his nickels. He got an 86 and an 88 Canadian nickels. He got a 38 and 39 Jefferson nickels. He got 2 that we're actually going to be checking in the books. We got a real nice 86 and 58. This coin here I'm actually going to set aside. I want to tell you a little bit more about this coin then. He got these ones here. He got a 63, 64, 67, 69, 71, 78. Only got 2 78s there. A 1987, a 92, a 2000, and a 2007 Canadian pennies. And we ended up, he ended up finding 4 silver dimes in the 1 box he did. A 1948, a 1956, and a 1964. Now we'll move on to that penny I was saying about. This penny here, it might not look like anything at first, but this penny's actually, it's something that shouldn't have even been, pretty much someone took a 1979 Denver penny, and they shaved off the edges of it. You see how shiny these edges are? It might look like a normal penny, but it's actually smaller than the normal pennies. I'll take some dimes here. They shaved the edges off to where it's the same size as a dime. It might not seem like much, but this penny here, if you were to dump it into a coin counter, it'll actually count as a dime. That's no good. This is not getting dumped back into circulation. We're actually going to be pulling this When we do find coins like this, they get pulled. We ended up getting that in one of those bank boxes there. It was rolled up in the dimes. And that's actually legally altering the currency there. That makes it to where if you dump it in a coin counter, it counts as 10 cents rather than 1 cent. It might not seem like much, but if a store goes to order coins or whatever, then they get that get a roll of dimes and there's a penny in here. Technically, they can't really hand this out as a 10-cent piece. It's nothing more than a penny. So it ends up gypping the stores out of money. It also kind of gyps the feds and everything out of money. A coin counter is just going to recognize this as a dime. Therefore, this is just getting pulled. I'm not dumping this back. This is just kind of, it's worthless at this point. But, again, that's pretty much what we found in this box. I'll go ahead and get into showing what we found in the custom rolls. Okay, well, this is what we found in our custom rolls that we went through earlier this week. We got a 1988S Kennedy half dollar, a 1994S Roosevelt dime. If you don't know, both of these are purse. They were not meant for circulation. They are not business strike coins. They were meant for special mint sets. We got a dateless buffalo nickel. And that puts us at a total of 2 buffalo nickels for the week. We got a bicentennial quarter that's been plated. So that's a pretty interesting find right there. Never found a plated bicentennial. We ended up, and we also ended up with 4 silver dimes. We got a 1954, 1961, and 2 1964s. Okay, everybody, I didn't show you everything that I thought there was to show you. Turns out we did a lot more coin roll hunting earlier this week. Most of it was actually done by Silver Santa. I kind of worked throughout the week, and he was going through coins and that while I was sleeping and during the day and everything. So pretty much this is mostly stuff that he's found during the front half of the week. These are all 1940s and 1950s wheat pennies here. They're commendators. Then he got some older ones. This first one, it looks like it's from the teens. I tried putting it under microscope. I cannot get that last digit though. It's just for some reason blurred off of the coin. You got a 1923. You got a 1926. A cleaned 1927. I don't know if the person that cleaned this coin was able to get a date off of it or not. Normally that's just not something you want to do with coins. This thing looks like it's been acid treated. You can see all the pitting and everything on it. This might have been a completely green coin though, where they couldn't pull any details off of it. I mean, if you're trying to complete a book of pennies, I guess it's not horrible, but at the same point, that didn't do any good for the coin if you were able to see a date on it. It just made the value even worse. Either way, it's a 1927. We got a 1938. Well, we got 3 1938s, sorry. I was counting as I was talking. Got a little ahead of myself. And we got a 1939. He did find a 1950 wheat penny. It does have a little bit of its original luster. That's why I kind of set that one aside. He got this, which actually would have been one of those things that would have came in a special mint set of coins. This would have been a Denver mint set. This was actually not meant for circulation. Just like the coins that were in that set, they were someone paid for those coins at a premium. Someone must have just pulled them out of the plastic, dumped them back at the bank. Always happy to find those, so. He got some coins from the 60s here that are pretty well red cents. They aren't toned, they're not tarnished. And he got a 1970, 1977. Both of them are like red cents. He got 3 2009s. Now, none of these are the copper varieties. I went ahead and put them on the scale. They all weigh less than the copper ones. If you don't know, the Special Mint Set 2009s actually have a copper composition. They're actually lower mintage. I haven't found any copper ones in circulation yet. I say yet because people always dump stuff back. So, that's always a potential. We got a bunch of Canadian pennies. These are all 1970s and back right here. And then these ones right here, you got a King George. This one's a 1950. Then he's got a bunch of the earlier Younghead Queen Elizabeth pennies. He's got 61, 64. He's got a 67. I always call these bird cents because they have a bird on them. It's like a bicentennial penny, I guess. We got 1968 and 1970. Those are our earliest date Canadian pennies. And we got 1 centissimo from 1961. Pretty interesting design on that. We have found a bunch of these in the past. I think the reverse on this coin's actually a little different looking though, but I think this is the oldest one we found. Okay, moving on to the nickels. My dad hunted a bunch of customer old coins and boxes, like I said. So these are nickels from 1940 through 1955 right here. These are all 1940 through 1955. He got some nickels from the 30s here. He's got 2 dateless buffaloes, a 35 and a 37. And then the rest of these are 1938 and 39. He's got, okay, that's also a 39 right there. He's got some coins set aside to check in the books son, including 2 of the 2019 San Antonio Missions quarters. And he's got this really, really nice 1985p right here. This thing doesn't look like it's seen circulation at all. Really happy to see that. We got some nickels to check in our books, son. As you can see, it is really nice looking. Just move across real slow so you can see the dates. We got some destroyed coins. This one here is, it looks like it got caught up in a machine. Same way with the dime. We have a 1960s penny. It's a 63. And you can see it was in a bezel. You see that damage on the rim? That's actually from it being pressed into a bezel, or might have even been one of those old good luck coins. It would have had like an aluminum band around it, maybe shaped like a 4-leaf clover or horseshoe. It's like you see them every once in a while. They're those lucky pennies, I guess you call them. You got a bent nickel here. It's a 64. Nothing real special or anything. We got 2 Canadian quarters, 3 Canadian nickels, and then here's the better stuff he found. He got 5 war nickels. I'll go ahead and show the dates. And it's a 45 Philadelphia, a 44 Philadelphia, a 45 San Francisco, a 44 Philadelphia, and a 1943. Yeah, 1943 Philadelphia. So those are always nice to find. He found a 1964 Roosevelt dime. That's silver. He found this 1949. I was looking at it under microscope. I cannot tell if this is the D over S. I mean, it's kind of like it's questionable. I wouldn't put it in a flip or anything marked as a D over S because I can't really tell off of sight alone, even off of the microscope and that. The thing that originally got my attention though was it almost has a color like a war nickel on it compared to some of these other nickels. When I saw that at first I thought maybe it was a war nickel. So I wanted to see if there was any 49 nickels that have a war nickel composition. I looked around on the internet. A war nickel weighs 5 grams. But your copper nickel, or your clad nickels, they also have the 5-gram weight. So being able to tell off of weight alone, that's going to be a little hard to do. It is something to set aside though, even though I don't know if it's an error coin or not, personally. We got a struck through grease error right here. That's actually a very good one. That's where they put so much grease on the die. It actually has a issue with both sides. It's a 1983 Philadelphia. That one's pretty neat. That's actually probably going to get put into a 2x2. And then we also got a 1968 S dime, which if you don't know about those, they were not meant for circulation. That's actually a proof right there. So that might actually go into our book because how nice it looks. That's why I'm not touching the surface on that coin. Proof coins, if you touch the surface, it can cause clouding. If it doesn't go into our book, it's actually going to go into a 2x2 as well to keep the coin looking somewhat nice. And then we have 2 more coins sitting over here. I don't know if you'll be able to see this right away, but that 1985 there, it's actually got a it's got a doubled rim here. It's a pretty cool error right there. I thought that was the reason my dad pulled it. And I was like, Dad, I thought you said you don't really have the best eyesight. He's like, I pulled the coin because it looked pretty. He said he thought it would replace in the book. I thought he pulled it because of this doubled rim. And it doesn't go the whole way around. It goes like part way around. And it goes into a solid rim like right here. So we got that, and then we also got a 2009 Philadelphia San Antonio quarter. Now, if you look right there, you can actually see where there's a die chip or a die cut. I was originally trying to point at the coins while they're under the scope. This actually works a little better just pointing at the screen. Yeah, but that's a 2019 Philadelphia San Antonio quarter. That is a die chip that you can look for. Another die chip that I guess you can look for, I saw a couple of these on the internet already. On the San Antonio quarter, there will be a die chip that can be found like right here at the top of this little building, I guess it is. I don't have any of those ones yet. I've actually been kind of checking them now that I know of that die chip, but we don't have that one. We do have one where there's die chip at the bottom of the cross. So. And I haven't found any of the 2019 San Antonio quarters with the W mint marks yet. West Point mint marks, they're kind of hard to find. I'm having trouble just finding the 2019 quarters, let alone the West Point mint mark quarters. I do have a handful of some of the different ones that they have. I think there were like 2 or 3 that we're still looking for yet. San Antonio is one of them. The last design, though, for the year, I haven't seen any of them. So, overall, like I said, we did a lot more coin roll hunting than I thought we did. I thought my dad, when he went through coins earlier this week, it was just a couple rolls. Looks like he sure enough went through a lot more than just a couple rolls. So, oh, another thing he found, he must have went through boxes too. He's a 1984 Canadian penny on the end. We don't open enders, so that'll get opened maybe in a later video. We usually do a full box. We'll wait until we have like a full box of nothing but enders, which is where you have one coin on end that's a really good coin, and we'll open them up and we'll see if there's anything interesting in them then. I know once before I attempted to do it on camera, but for whatever reason, well, not for whatever reason, I just ran my phone without plugging it in, and my phone ended up dying, so I wasn't able to do it the first time. But maybe the next time we have a full box of these enders, we'll do it live.